principles of the family. You want to write these down. There are 10 fundamental principles of the family that you should remember. The first one is that the family is the foundational unit for reproduction. Now, we hear a lot of talk about this lately. We have questions about same-sex marriages, where we have two women wanting to create a legal marriage and then create what they call a family. We got two males talking about coming together legally in a matrimonial relationship and say they're creating a family. Well, my problem with this is that according to the way God planned the human development, the family is the only perfect environment for reproduction, because it is the only qualified unit for effective and total development. When a child is born into an ideal family, it is very rare for you to experience a child who has social problems. My mother and father, and my father's here today, had 11 children. And all of us are sane. No one is a criminal. And we were not rich. We were born into a family, 11 kids, in one of the poorest part of our country, in the midst of a whole lot of difficulties, where there was a lot of poverty, a lot of stress and strain and frustration. Matter of fact, where we were born is where one of the first gangs in the Bahamas was conceived. And on both sides of our houses were drinking bar rooms. How come my mother and father produced such good children like myself and others here? My mother and father produced young people who are respectable and who respect people. Because the home was the most stable place for our development. Now, I know that God has blessed many of you single parents and your kids came out well. But I tell you that there are still some defects that you probably don't want to deal with. Because when there is a dysfunctional family, there will be, in some unconscious ways, some defects develop, because people need whatever God put in the family structure. It is the ideal place for reproduction. Number two, the family is the prototype of society. When God created the family, He created a small society. So if you want to know what a society looks like, study the families. Number three, society is only as strong as the family. No matter what we say about our country, about economic development and projects going on and investors coming in and all the good stuff we're talking about, we got folks going to these jobs who came from homes that are full of difficulties. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of the general managers of a hotel, and he said that he needs me to come in and talk to his staff, because most of his staff are coming to work either angry, bitter, or just out of a fight. And they're trying to get these people to love the customer or to love the tourists that come. And these people come from homes where there's broken families, there's beatings, there's incest, there's frustration, and they're trying to be productive on the job. And that's why there's so much difficulty, like drinking and alcoholism and drugs on the job, because these young people are coming out of homes where there is no structure and guidance and sense of belonging, and they find it somewhere else with friends that are doing activities that are not healthy. The family is the key to the strength of society. Number four, society is a reflection of the condition of the family. You can tell what's happening in the family by what's happening in the nation. You study our society, and it's a clear indication of what's happening in our families. Because you cannot produce a nation better than your families. Your family is a collection of nations, and nations rather a collection of families. So if the family is sick, the nation will be sick. If the family is disintegrated, the nation will be disintegrated. If the family is frustrated, the nation will be frustrated. If there's anger in the family, it'll show up in the community. And so the family determines the condition of the nation. Number five, the purpose of the family is to secure society. God created the family to protect society. We should not focus so much on society. We should focus on the family. Because when you focus on the family, you automatically strengthen society. And that's why any nation that builds a strong family concept and a strong family priority, you'll find that nation prospering. There'll be less poverty, less crime, less depression. Matter of fact, one of the weird things you should study is the Jewish communities, because they place family above government. They place family above education. They place family above prosperity. And that's why those Jewish communities anywhere in the world, you find them prospering. There's low crime rates among the Jewish people. Why? Because they focus on family. Well, number 6 is kind of an explanation for that. The purpose of the family is to secure society, and the sanctity of the family is the bedrock for human survival. If we don't sanctify the family again, respect it, we are going to have a nation that's disintegrating. I put it to you, number 7, the family is not a product of the state. Say amen. The government cannot create a family, and the government did not produce the family. And we got to be very serious about this, because sometimes we want the government to bring up our kids, government to correct our husbands who ain't paying family responsibilities. We want the government to take care of our daycare needs. We want the government to punish our kids for us. We want the government to teach our kids for us. And so we basically have kids, and then we dump them on the doorstep of the government and say, educate them, discipline them, correct them, protect them while I go to work and make some money. The state did not create the family. As a matter of fact, what's even more real is that the family is a product of the state. No, the state is a product of the family. In other words, the government is only as good as the family that produced them. Some of you may wonder, okay, why are politicians corrupt? Check the family. In other words, you cannot produce a government better than the families in that society. So we have government leaders who commit adultery, who shack up with people. Well, study the family that guy came from, or that lady came from. You'll find that the family cannot produce a state better than itself. So if you want a better government, you got to have a better what? Family. Many government leaders in these countries throughout the Caribbean and the world are corrupt, and they have moral questions, values that are so low. But where do you get your values from and your morality from? From your family, not from the government. So when they enter government, they bring their values with them, and now we get national immorality. The family produces the state. Number 9, the dissolution of the family, therefore, is the dissolution of the state. In other words, when you destroy the family, you really destroy the country. So society can be destroyed by destroying the family. And that's why there's so much attack going on the family.